Hello there guys, this is Solid Shepard, bringing you another video. And today we are talking about politicians attacking video games. No less Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar and similar games. As well as games that promote violence? Say it ain't so, let's get into it. Okay guys, now getting into this article and the title, and by the way, as always, the link will be in the description down below. But lawmaker seeks to ban Grand Theft Auto video game following uptick in Illinois carjackings. An Illinois lawmaker wants to ban the sale of Grand Theft Auto, a video game featuring shootouts, robberies, and high-speed chases, alongside most other video games that feature violence, as his state experiences an uptick in carjackings. So first of all, I think this is kind of weird that they're suddenly targeting Grand Theft Auto, because like or Rockstar games in general, there are no new Grand Theft Auto games that, like, I'd understand if like Grand Theft Auto 6 just released, or Red Dead 3 had just released, and suddenly there was an uptick or something in these crimes. But neither is the case. Both games have been out for years. Rockstar really hasn't released a new game, like, recently. I can't... Tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below. I can't think of any kind of similar style games that really have released recently either. It seems like a scapegoat, but let's go further into the article. Democratic state... To me, this doesn't matter. Politicians are politicians. So, State Representative Marcus Evans on Friday introduced a bill, HB 3531, which would amend an Illinois law that prevents violent video games from being sold to children to an outright prohibition on the sale. I thought that was already illegal. Like, kids can't buy mature or immature games. Well, I guess the law probably is, like, unless your parents are, unless you have a guardian. But even if you changed that, sorry if you just heard that. I'm in a hotel and the air conditioner just started. So you know what? I'm gonna turn that off real quick. Okay, so what I was saying there, parents could, if they really wanted to get their kid a game, they could just go without the child and just be like, yeah, I'm getting it for myself. So I really, maybe there's more in this article that's going to cover that, but I really don't know how that's going to stop anyone unless, like, you would just have to literally stop the sales of the games. So, Evans, who mentioned Grand Theft Auto by name during a Monday press conference, defined violent video games as a video game that allows a user or player to control a character within the video game that is encouraged to perpetuate human-on-human violence in which the player kills or otherwise causes serious physical or psychological harm to another human or animal. I mean, I guess, I don't know if it never straight just tells you just to go randomly murder people, but you can do it in the game. One other thing is people committing these crimes are generally adults, so even if somehow this was correct to make sure kids don't play these games, which to a certain degree I kind of agree with, like, as a parent you probably shouldn't let your kids, you know, if your kid's not even a teenager yet, probably shouldn't let them play these kind of games. That's why it's M for mature. But the return you would have to need for that to change anything is years. Like, those kids that you're preventing from playing the game now would have to mature. You'd have to wait until they're adults to really see the return on this. So this really isn't going to do anything in the immediate future. The bill would prohibit the sale of some of these games that promote the activities that we're suffering from in our communities, Evans said. So are they trying to just do a straight up ban of the game? Of these types of games in the state? Grand Theft Auto and other violent video games are getting in the minds of our young people and perpetuating the normalcy of carjacking. I don't know if anyone is thinking it's normal. That's why it's in a video game. I mean, I play Madden. I don't think I can go run a sub, 440 time like Tyreek Hill, You know, carjacking is not normal and carjacking must stop. I agree, and I don't really know anyone who thinks it is normal. Generally, the only people who do that kind of stuff are people who are in the criminal world. Chicago is on pace to see upward of 1,800 car burglaries for 2021, and more than 40 law enforcement officers have been added to task forces designed to curb the rampant theft. Prosecutors have also expressed concern about the age of some of the perpetrators. If you've got a 12-year-old or 11-year-old or 14-year-old engaging in this behavior, there is something wrong, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox said earlier in February. I agree. Better parenting is needed. You don't let video games, YouTube, and the television raise your children. I don't think this is the government's job. The bill was read and referred to the House Rules Committee on Monday. Rockstar Games, the creator of Grand Theft Auto, did not immediately respond to request for comment from the Washington Examiner. Okay, so at first it kind of sounded like they were trying to say like they're just gonna prohibit the sale to minors, but further down the article, it almost seems like they are trying to just prohibit the sale in general. Maybe they're trying to... Basically, the bill will probably make... Okay, so people who were around during Grand Theft Auto San Andreas' days, if you remember the hot coffee incident, suddenly Grand Theft Auto went from M for mature to AO for adult only. So normal stores couldn't sell adult only. Like, the only adult only stuff you could technically sell would be like an adult toy fun time shops. Trying to be YouTube family friendly. That was the only places you could really sell. So that basically took it off the market. You couldn't just go into GameStop or Walmart and buy it. So I don't know if they're trying to basically like add M for mature into the same category as AO for adult only. That sounds like that's what they're trying to do, considering they basically said the bill would prohibit the sale of some of these games that promote the activities that we're suffering from in our communities. And the way he described it, a video game that allows a user or player to control a character within the video game. So far that's basically every video game that is encouraged to perpetuate human-on-human violence. So that's like Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, obviously, Metal Gear Solid, the Hitman series. I mean, if you want to get really technical, Madden, technically, you're hitting people. Injuries can happen in that game. There, like 90% of video games could technically fall under this. Within the video game that is encouraged to perpetuate human-on-human violence. Once again, I would say Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain, I'd say you're encouraged to perpetuate human-on-human violence. Really any action-type game. Diablo, you're encouraged human-on-human violence. World of Warcraft, like the PvP scene, you're encouraged human-on-human, like elf-on-elf, human-on-elf, but still technically person-on-person violence. Really any game that's not, like, just, raising horses or something stupid like that. No offense to you if you're into those kind of games. But there's a very limited amount of games that wouldn't fall under this definition so far, in which the player kills or otherwise causes physical or psychological harm to another human or animal. Batman. The Batman Arkham series falls under this definition. If you ask me, this is completely ridiculous. It looks like it might end up... Like, I believe right now it hasn't passed. They're presenting it. I hope the more calm, collected, intelligent, informed minds win out. But from what I'm hearing, this is actually very likely to pass, so that's unfortunate for anyone living in Illinois, because this is absurd. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think, what your opinions are on this. I decided to cover this because it is obviously very much video game related news. Video games are under attack again, and if this passes, this might be one of the biggest blows the political elites have, done to video games and the culture, I think it's absolutely moronic to insinuate. It's ignorant. That's the word I'm looking for. It's ignorant to insinuate that video games can cause someone to do something. My own personal opinion is if a video game, music, movie, etc. has any kind of driving force into making you do something that is like horrific, criminal, stuff that any normal person would know not to do, it's not the video game that caused you to do it. You had underlying, like, issues that need to be addressed before the video game. The video game's not going to cause someone to do it. It might nudge someone who's already, like, there mentally to that path, but it's not going to be the reason it happened. Once again, at that point, you need to raise your kids better so they don't end up like that. People who have mental health issues, we need to help them out, get them the help they need. But you can't blame the video games. This is going to do nothing other than restrict gamers from being able to play games that they want to play. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear your opinion, like I said, in the comment section below. As always, guys, this has been Solid Shepard, and I should go.